Hey there everyone, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next videos. Today, we traveling will be exploring one of the most visited countries in Latin America. Welcome to Mexico, the home of the world's largest pyramid and extreme lovers of Coca-Cola. You're about to see some of the best places to visit in Mexico, and honestly, some of these destinations will blow you away. We'll be going from pristine historic sites to sophisticated cities and landmarks, great beaches, and aquatic destinations, and probably some of the best museums you will ever see. Let's jump in. Number 10. Cabo San Lucas. This is arguably one of the best places to visit in Mexico. There are just so many great things to say about the city. Cabo San Lucas, or Cabo, as it is normally called, is a resort city in the Baja California Peninsula. It's the ideal location for a getaway with beaches and great outdoor restaurants, not to mention amazing locations that you can go visit. There's the Marina, the San Jose del Cabo, a magnificent area that deeply is rooted in Mexican history. You can also go golfing if you're interested in those kinds of sports, because Cabo has some of the best golf courses in the world. A place where you'll be happy to say you golfed in. And after a day of fun, you can relax on the many beaches in Cabo. Santa Maria is one that's highly recommended, as it is not usually crowded. And there's even a whale watching option, where you can go into the sea to look at some whales. But if you're ever in Cabo and you want a truly unforgettable experience, please don't miss the sunset in Land's End. It's the most beautiful sunset you'll ever see. Number 9. Chichen Itza. They say the Mayans were an oddly advanced civilization for their time, having an intricate governmental system, amazing architecture, written language, and the occasional blood sacrifice. Like the pyramids of Egypt, Chichen Itza has some amazing architecture that highlights the ingenuity of the Mayan civilization. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Center and a frequently visited location by visitors from all over the world. If you're in Chichen, check out the 30 meters high pyramid of Kukulkan, or El Castillo, as it is usually called. Take a tour in Caracol, the observatory that's over 1,000 years old that lets you witness just how the Mayans lived. Fun fact about the Mayans, they sort of invented plastic. Yeah, the Mayans would take rubber from rubber trees and then mix it with morning glory and turn the rubber into a somewhat plastic material. That's fascinating, isn't it? The Mayans did so much that you'll get a first-hand account of their deeds when you visit Chichen Itza. Number 8. Cozumel. Now, if you're looking for what's considered an island paradise in Mexico, then Cozumel is the place for you. It's such an interesting destination with lots of incredible features. One of the many things you can do in Cozumel is taking a dive in the Palancar Reef. It's a reef that has a depth of almost 80 meters. If you like scuba diving and snorkeling, you are going to love the Palancar Reef. There's even a part of the reef that has an underwater sculpture of Christ. It's pretty surreal. There's also amazing aquatic life in the area, but the fun's just starting at Cozumel because there are many great places to visit, like the National Marine Park, San Miguel de Cozumel, Mexico Park, and a host of other great locations. And if you're just looking to have a relaxing time at the beach, Cozumel has a lot of great beaches to choose from, like Playa Santa Pila, Playa San Juan, Playa San Francisco, and many others. Cozumel is the place to be if you're looking to get away from it all and just enjoy the island life. Number 7. Mérida. Mérida is the capital city of Yucatán, a region in Mexico. Mérida, popularly known as the White City, is one of those places in Mexico that has managed to retain some of its colonial charm and grandeur despite all the time that it's passed. With so many churches that depict the richness of Mexico's religious history, like the Parque Cepeda Peraza, the Mérida Cathedral, which has the Chapel of the Christ of Blisters, which sounds a lot better in Spanish. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are more great destinations in Mérida, like the Mayan World Museum, which houses more than 1,000 relics from the Mayan era. There's also McKay, aka the Museum of Contemporary Art, the Museum of Popular Art, and the Natural History Museum of Mérida. Suffice to say, there's a lot of museums in Mérida, yet it doesn't compare to some of the other cities on this list. One of Mérida's central hubs, the highlight, the strength of Mérida, is the Plaza Grande, or the Plaza de la Independencia, which is beautiful in its own right and surrounded by some of the most important buildings in Mérida. Number 6. The Fortress of Tulum. We've had some great locations that showcase the Mayan heritage on this list, Yet I don't think there's any archaeological site that compares to the fortress of Tulum. Found on a cliff overlooking the Caribbean, Tulum is the only Mayan settlement that's set at the coast. It is believed to have been a military outpost for the Mayans, given its strategic build and unconventional placement. It's estimated to have been built as far back as 1200 AD. Now the fortress is part of the Tulum National Park, and it sits as the most famous archaeological site in the whole of Mexico. As you can expect, there are a lot of great things to do and places to visit in Tulum. And you can check out the high walls of Tulum, the Temple of the Frescoes, the Temple of the God Descending, which also has a 5-foot statue of a Mayan-style calendar. Next, you can check out the ruins of Tulum because it's nothing short of fascinating to look at. There are tours that you can take and a lot of information that you'll receive. And as usual, you can top the day off by relaxing at Tulum Beach. Number 5. Oaxaca. We are now entering the locations that offer a truly authentic Mexican experience. I'm talking food, music, culture, and the wild Mexican parties and festivals. You can't go wrong in a city like Oaxaca. It's a hub of cultural diversity and a zone of inclusion, and it's hard to not feel at home in Oaxaca because everyone is welcome there. Despite the development that's always occurring in Mexico, the city somehow remains unspoiled and has managed to retain its pristine look for decades. It's a titular location that manages to combine both the old and the new. The markets are one of the most vibrant in Mexico, like the Mercado Benito Juarez and Zocalo, where you'll get great items and paraphernalia such as masks and hats, clothes and other accessories. There's a great assortment of snacks and cuisines that you can also choose from. But if there's anything that Oaxaca is famous for, it's the festivals. There's the Fiesta de Rabanos, which actually means the Night of Radishes, or the famous festival Gualaguetza, that's held in July. It's a memorable experience if you get to partake in the festival. Oaxaca also has great historical sites as well as natural destinations that you're bound to enjoy, like Monte Alban or the Oaxaca Ethno-Botanical Gardens, just to name a few. Number 4. Mexico City. There's a place in Mexico that's easy to overwhelm you once you take a step into its confines, and that's the capital of the country, Mexico City. It is an alternative destination if you're looking for a more urban experience in Mexico. Ciudad de Mexico is found in the Anahuac Valley, surrounded by mountains and 2 snow-covered volcanoes. The city features a lot of Colombian architecture and museums. In fact, there are about 150 museums in Mexico City, and they are probably going to be adding more. But just to recommend a few that you have to go see, there's the National Museum of Anthropology, the Museum of Modern Art, and the National History Museum. Other must-see locations include the National Palace, the Paseo de la Reforma, Chapultepec Park, and of course Zocalo, the Plaza of Mexico's Constitution. In fairness, we haven't really scratched the surface in terms of locations to visit while you're in Mexico City, but these should give you a sense of things. Number 3. Copper Canyon. Like the Grand Canyon in America, there's the Copper Canyon in Mexico. The funny thing is, even though the Grand Canyon is a lot famous, the Copper Canyon is even bigger and deeper. Copper Canyon, aka Barrancas del Cobre in Spanish, is located in Chihuahua, a Mexican northern state. It gets its name from the copper-green lining that are present in the canyon walls. The journey leading to the canyon is almost as great as the destination, as to arrive at the canyon, one usually travels by train, most likely the Ferrocarril Chihuahua al Pacifico, which moves under 80 tunnels and over 40 bridges. It's absolutely incredible how Mexico was able to carry out that much construction given the peculiar nature of the terrain. Copper Canyon is an ideal hiking destination where you can explore with little to no stress. There are great tour guides who will give you a comprehensive excursion through the canyon, and you can go by foot, bike, or even horseback. That is if you're feeling particularly giddy. Number 2. Puerto Vallarta. Now, if you just want to enjoy a surreal beach experience in Mexico, a place where you can swim in the ocean, a tropical paradise that's bound to soothe your nerves, then a trip to the town of Puerto Vallarta will be perfect. It has everything from amazing coastlines to evergreen jungles, green resorts, restaurants, and some unusual locations that you can visit, like the beautiful Malecon walkway, which hugs the coastline, Zona Romantica, that's just aesthetically pleasing to look at, and the Bay of Banderas, which is one of the largest bays in the world. There are also smaller towns like Talpa de Allende and Mascota, and a bunch of uninhabited islands along the bay. Vallarta represents the height of serenity and relaxation in Mexico, and it's only surpassed arguably by one other location. Number 1. Cancun. If there's one place that everybody wants to visit in Mexico, it's Cancun, and it's no mystery why. It is a L-shaped island that's always associated with paradise. It has everything that you need for the perfect getaway: beaches, historical landmarks, and architecture. Cancun even has an underwater museum known as Musa. It has underwater exhibits spread across depths of the ocean floor that's not something you see every day. Cancun also has a wide assortment of aquatic life that you can interact with, all located in Cancun's interactive aquarium. There you can play with dolphins, turtles, and other forms of aquatic life. You can also visit scenic locations like Xcaret and Urbano Caba Park. As always, you can spend your time on the amazing beaches of Cancun. There's plenty to choose from, all of them great and extremely relaxing. Mexico delivers when it comes to supplying great tourist centers and locations. It's a hub of culture and history and some really great beaches, and it does its best to showcase what it has through its people and its places. Be sure to let us know what you think about Mexico in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching.